Please bless the leader with a long and wonderful dream, and let that dream come true someday. Lord, please bless the leader with a long and wonderful dream, and let that dream come true someday. Lord, please bless the leader with a long and wonderful dream, and let that dream come true someday.
Hello. Hi. So, let me actually do something real quick. How do you do this? Damn, nope. That's what I wanted to do. What the fuck am I doing? Oh no, oh no. You saw me, no. Huh. Terrifying, I know. Must have been awful. Hi Lyra, cool streak you have there. How are you doing? Try to center myself, you know.
Lord, please bless the leader
Anyways,
with a long and wonderful dream, and let that dream
what is this? What
come
is this?
true someday.
Oh, right, okay, that makes sense. Been good, how about you? Pretty good, pretty good. I like, I had a nice meal. Had some noodles with meat from that one Thai restaurant that I really like. So that was pretty cool. That was enjoyable. Have I done like literally anything? Nope. I mean, yeah. I didn't. Sometimes I like think to myself, what am I doing? Like, what was I'm awake for like over 2 hours. What did I do in that time? I did play a little bit of Limbus actually, yeah. I've done a really funny thing that's really cool. So I've started a run. I was like, yeah, I'll try doing the fucking Blade Lineage team, you know, since there's new and it also gives you more of the event currency. So I was like, yeah, I'll do Blade Lineage team. I got like to 4th floor, and then I was like, shit, I need to start preparing for a stream, you know? So let's, like, you know, I can finish it later or like some other day at some point. I went and accidentally, just like without thinking, just quit the run instead of just like leaving. So I quit the run, so no, I can't continue. I have to do the whole fucking thing again. Isn't that really cool?
Lord, please bless the leader with a long
so yeah,
and
that
wonderful
happened.
dream, and let that dream
Yippee, exactly, that's how I feel as well. We do have a raid planned for tomorrow, so that is exciting. Tomorrow is Friday, right? I think we agreed on Friday. Yeah. Glad that that works. I might. Well, we'll see how possibly other people react. But if it's Friday, I might want to start later than at 6. But I also know that that's, you know, it's difficult. It's difficult to like plan something with 5 different people. Oh, well, 6, including myself. But yeah. I do think, by the way, specifically Root of Nightmare, talking specifically to Lyra right now, this is a message to you specifically, and I guess Ark. I think Root of Nightmare is really easy. I think that even if you didn't do it before, if they are like teaching or anything, showing you what to do, I think Root of Nightmare, like doing that day 1 took like... Well, it took a bit over 6 hours or something like that, I think. So I think I do think that even if we started like really late, I do believe that my clan mates would have time Friday evening. So, but like it depends, right? Just like if it would work better for you, Lyra, like later or anything, just you know, just let us know.
Come true someday.
I think we could work it with it. Just saying. But yeah. Arknights though. Arknights. We'll be doing retracing our steps. Which, you know, I'm very excited for. I say that like about probably 90% of the side stories. But yeah. We'll see what that's about. I do really enjoy the Chirac storyline, and this is also kind of a Rhineland storyline from what I know, which is also a storyline I really like. What am I? Huh. What the fuck? Give me a second. I guess that's alright. How late would you want to start? But something like 21 is probably nice too. Could just do a shorter stream beforehand then. Okay, I mean, that would work for me. I very much, since my normal stream is like 6 hours-ish, I would just like to start after 6. So if, for example, if I'm in the middle of a story, I can finish that one. So I was thinking just like basically anytime after 6, like even 6:30, I feel like would be kind of, you know, fine for me. But 9 works great for me. Everything later, like even if we started at midnight, that works for me. Even though I do want to obviously go to sleep, I could adapt. Anyways, I'm seeing that my cool VTuber background is like, I was moving with it, you know? Now it's all messed up. Ooh. I guess this works. Yeah, anyways. Also another thing before we jump into that. Actually one thing is, I don't think I've done all my dailies yet. Because yesterday I did not stream this video game. Well, I mean, I guess I did do them, just now claimed them. Well, I guess whatever, I did them before the stream because I was farming the event stages. But I definitely didn't steal credits from my friends.
Could you take some of those film posters off the walls?
What can I do for you?
Did everyone send me like anything before, except for, did I see that right? Where are people sending me everything except for? Is that like a funny little prank? Yes, okay, that's funny and little and a prank. Okay, let's collect all of these. Yesterday's stream was great. I'm happy that we managed to, you know, do that. Win. Nice, stupid. No, I'm moving something I didn't want to. Okay, this is good, I guess. If I would to... Why did I just move it at any point? I just didn't need to move it. Well, I still feel like I'm a bit not centered. You know? I mean, this side doesn't matter, actually. That kinda works. Fair. Also, I do plan... We will see, obviously. We will see. Based on vibes. But I do kind of want to do a shorter stream today. Because I've done a bunch of longer ones recently. Like, so... Ooh, well, fuck you, Lyra. I've seen what make you cheer. But yeah, take your breaks. Thank you. Thanks, I appreciate that you allow me to. But yeah, actually I won't have a break. I will be cleaning up, and I hate that. Streaming is definitely more of a break than cleaning up. What was I going to say? Yeah, but we will see, you know. Sometimes I say I'll make a shorter stream and then I'm having fun and I don't make it shorter one anyways. But yeah, I've done like 3 quite long, or at least longer streams. Back to back. So I think it would be nice to maybe do like a nice little 4-hour stream just today, you know? Who knows? And then I'll go do a whole new fucking mirror dungeon run.
I gotta find time to really look at it. Howdy, boss.
Hello. Oh, let's buy some stuff here. That's nice. And yeah, I guess let's just jump into the story. Heard it's a good one. From good sources. Ark. And if Ark enjoyed it, I think I'll enjoy it more. Retracing our steps. 1101. That's us. I'm guessing the year this is happening in, possibly, maybe. Catastrophe descends upon Cherag. Already interesting, because they said that Cherag doesn't suffer catastrophes. I think they mentioned something like that. Plunging countless into calamity. It's so stupid how you cannot read this, by the way. Like, why is it written like this? Plunging countless into calam. And then it ends. It's not like you can you know, show the side, scroll to the side. As hearts waver in terror, those who lurk in the shadows bide their time. Meeting and parting, flames that light up in the sky. The journey through the snow to find one's heart is long and fraught with peril. The one who moves the pieces knows the price of a single misstep. The loyal, the resolute, and those who relentlessly pursue the truth walk side by side. Okay, I'm getting a phone call. I'll be right back. Hello, hello. I'm back. It was just my mom. I was calling her, like, you know, before the stream, but she probably couldn't take it. So yeah. Oh, where did we end? I think with side by side. After this farewell, the mountain winds of Chirac will blow on, ever unchanged. Right. I do need my notepad, just to make sure I don't skip anything. Post 1. Landslide. I believe you're wrong, sir. Victoria may be the strongest nation on Terra, for now, but there is no guarantee that such prosperity will last forever. We are all familiar enough with the history of Victoria's golden decades. Victoria's 4 golden decades. Nourished by a legacy of gold. Times have changed, however, when Victoria's productivity advantages eroded and her ambitions to expand went unsated, the cracks of internal strife began to emerge beneath the surface. The last king attempted to mediate between the factories and the merchants, but failed to propose a new path out of the dilemma. His end was inevitable. The same was demonstrated by the coup in Latvianin not long after, who emerged as the victor of the bloody struggle. No, It has been more than a decade since they hanged the Lord of Lions, but the repercussions of the coup linger to this day. The Wheat of Brighton, the River Mersey incident. Have the Dukes been able to set aside their conflicts for even a moment this past decade? Everyone believes they will emerge the better for the struggle. Not one believes they are digging Victoria's grave together. If we do not see change soon, an intensifying civil war will be what defines Victoria in this new era. I heard that most eloquent young man stole the show today. One would be forgiven for mistaking you for today's headliner. I mean, no offense, Your Grace, Duke of Caster. I'd hoped to make the acquaintance of more people of wisdom at your manor, but I confess I find myself disappointed. Do you consider yourself worthy of a position as a Duke's advisor, or even the Speaker of Parliament then? Anyone can point out the ills that plague this nation. Curing it, however, calls for the proper means, a stroke of luck even. It seems that I am hardly the one who should be worrying about these things, though. What do you think? I remember your mother. You have inherited none of her humility or courtesy, but all of her boldness and irreverence. Any goddess? Yeah, I was kind of thinking it could be him. You would hardly have found time for a distant relative from a distant land if I had not got your attention this way. Huh. It was a rather inflammatory speech, but far from being enough to lay a foundation. Many young lads have visited this house intending to make their names amongst the guests, so as to enjoy the adoration of others in high society. How do I know you are not one of them? I have little interest in becoming a guest of honor at a banquet of Victorian nobility. I simply bring a modest proposal. The resources of Chirac and the industry of Caster complement each other perfectly. There is a potential for equal cooperation. I am building a Chirac's first transitional trading company. Transnational trading company. And I would like to extend an invitation. Equal? Equal. In 30 years, the name Chirac will lie on the lips of all the nations of Terra. We have nothing to lose, and everything to gain, from cooperation between our two lands. I commend your courage. But I doubt you have the means to make such a promise, child. Nice art, by the way. Took me a while to say it this time. You will assent. As a consummate and visionary politician, are well aware of the dilemma that Victoria faces, or should I say, the Duchy of Caster faces. You would not lightly dismiss any measures that could improve the situation, however slim the chance. The fact that I stand before you now is proof enough that I'm worth investing in. Be thankful you are young enough that I can forgive your imprudence. Answer me then, young visionary, with your wit and guile. How does a country that has yet to adopt the Origin Circuit's plan to becoming a name on the lips of the nations of Terra? Your doubts are well founded. Industry and technology are certainly important, but for a nation, there are other things that are even more important. To be frank, the particular name of Victorian politics may have clouded your eyes to the potential of a united nation. I believe and she stood upon the highest peak, pointed to the lake in the distance, and spoke. Remember the path you walked, and let not yourself forget. Fear the blizzard that has yet to come, and let not yourself be arrogant. Clutch your bows and arrows, pickaxes and hoes tight, and let not yourself be careless. Love your brothers and sisters, love your neighbors and friends, and love the rocks and hills, the grass and trees, as you would love your own siblings. Heed these words, and no calamity shall befall you, and your home and hearth will be safe forevermore. Santos, it's almost time. Have the doctors not found a way? 4 years. The finest doctors of Cherak and Victor tried everything they could think of to purge the poison from the Great Elder. In the end, it is not illness that takes him, but time. I see. May I see him? Of course. Please, deliver him in Cheragander's name. Enya gently pushes the door open. The dying man's chest barely moves as he lies on the bed. He seems to hear the sound and cocks his ear with great effort before opening his mouth meekly. Enya, is that you? Great Elder. How are you feeling? Would you like some water? No. Listen to me, Enya. What is it you wish? This day has been too long in coming. Do you think that this day has been too long in coming? Of course not. You taught me many things. You have done well. But I was a poor teacher, a poor elder. I was not even a pious child of Cheragander. Great Elder? I haven't heard Cheragander's voice for many years. I prayed day and night, recited the scriptures over and over, but she never answered my call. I was lost, I was afraid, but I had to keep going. I thought if Cheragander's will had to protect her people, it was not against her will to act in such a way. I wanted to strengthen Divine Beat Court's authority. I wanted the hearts of Cherak to be united and firm. But I erred in many ways. One can lie to a man, but no one can deceive Cheragander. She sees all that we do. She knows all our errors and our repentance. I know, I believed. But a long time passed, and I thought that I had not been punished by Cheragander. And so, I stopped believing. Until last night, Cheragander came to me in a dream. She did not reproach me, she simply walked in front of me, leading me to the lake whose surface was like a mirror. And she said, all the rivers shall converge upon this place. And then I knew my time was up. I want to repent. I must repent. But it's too late for me. Give me a sec. Yeah. And yeah, Tell me, honestly, do you still hear Cheragander's voice? I believe she does. Sometimes. Her followers must listen carefully to her teachings all the time. The noise of the land may deafen our ears to her voice, and the wind and snow blind our eyes to her teachings. But remember, always, that she is good, and those who forsake her walk on the wrong path. It is hard to be good and evil. Good than evil. It is harder to be good than evil. To forgive than to hate. To be humble than to be proud. Those who tread this path must know it is a treacherous one, but those who stray from it shall find it even harder to return. Stop making all that noise, Yucatan. Since when are you as restless as Sirius? I'm sorry, matriarch, but I can't help myself at a time like this. There's nothing I can do for her but pray. Always so uneasy. You and Sirius. She's my younger sister, and a future brown-tail matriarch. A little thing like this should be no trouble at all. And it is in excellent health. You remember how she sneaked out to climb Mount Jungfrau when she was 8, and ended up breaking her leg when she fell? They thought she'd never walk again. In 2 months, she was running and jumping around like nothing ever happened. No one gave it a second thought. Are we really sure there were no lingering effects? No, of course there wouldn't be. It was so long ago, and the doctors say she's healthy as a bird and beast. But can those Victorian doctors really be trusted? I'll have their heads if anything happened to my stupid sister. Gopfer, Dami. It's been 4 hours. Why haven't they come out yet? Matriarch, report from Captain Monch. Shut up. Don't bother me, whatever it is. Understood. Let's take a deep breath, matriarch. Cheragander will protect us. She's the gentlest woman I've ever met. Who would Cheragander watch over if not her? You're right. You're right. Cheragander. Oh, Cheragander, hear my prayers. I am hardly the most pious of Cheragander's people, but now I muster all my piety in the hopes that Cheragander will grant this one favor. If Clan Browntail must be punished for our past transgression, then let all that punishment fall upon me. I will accept your anger, your wrath. But please, spare my foolish sister. Back, Cheragander. That's nice. Dear travelers, please note that train KT 36392 departing from Lake Silbernherze, bound for Brick Pass, will be delayed by 1 hour due to inclement weather. Chirac Rail sincerely apologizes for the inconvenience. Please speak to a staff member at the information desk if you require assistance. Are Victorian trains ever not late? Looks like they have wrapped off on the Chirac Rail. It's just a little late. Frankly, I'd rather stay here for a while longer than deal with those investors back home. At least they have a good system out here for free. Burp. But in inclement weather, they say. Doesn't look like it's snowing. That looks like playable design, but I'm pretty sure it isn't. What's the hurry? The trains aren't running. Sorry, excuse me. Maybe like a... Definitely will be like an important NPC though. Wait a minute. I've seen this trick before. You're a pickpocket, aren't you? Stop right there. Let me make sure you didn't steal anything. Huh? The woman breaks free of the hand grabbing her shoulder and runs in the direction of the crowd, vanishing into a sea of people. Hey, somebody help! Thief! Did you lose something, ma'am? My purse, jewelry, terminal... Huh? Everything seems to be here. Oh, I thought she was listing everything that she did lose. But that one... Were probably some unfortunate sot trying to get on without a ticket. I told you, this is P.S. Chirac, not post-water Longinium. No one's after her purse. Hey, Tavina. Hope you're having a good day. But Chirac under Monchi. Just trying to ride without the ticket get you hunted down by warriors in Chirac. Found you. Madame Caroline of Rhinelab. Yeah, I mean, it was kinda... I was pretty confident she's from Rhinelab. I don't know what gave it away. I know who you are, and what you have done. Come quietly, unless you want everyone under the sun to know. The Vinebeat Court will grant you a fair and impartial trial. First, give me what you're holding. The woman silently clutches the folder in her arms, and thinks for a moment before crying out without warning. Run! Run! There's a bomb in the station! The crowded station quickly descends into chaos as the woman's cry. The creator of the chaos once again disappears into the crowd. Damn. Damn indeed. This wouldn't happen if you didn't put a bomb in your stations, you know? Bruce, I'm so glad you're alright. How are they? The children? Perfectly fine. Your sister's taking care of them. Rest now, and don't worry about a thing. Yucatan. There was a few times where I thought I was going to see Chiragander. Every little bad thing that I ever did came flashing back before my eyes. Even that time when I climbed that tree to steal Falbeast eggs when I was 8. What would Chiragander punish me for? Sure, they punished you. Remember? The time you spent 2 months in bed? Don't worry about it, Russ. We've made it through so much. Now, we've got enough reasons to keep going. We have to see Oak and Barry grow up. It's a good name. Barry. Oak is fine, too. It's right. It's like the Pokemon guy, right? Chiragander won't separate us. Yucatan, isn't snowing outside? It's a little cold. Weather metaphor. Also, we know that catastrophe is coming, so when they said something about wet weather, that's kinda what I'm expecting. I'll add some firewood and get you another blanket. Sleep well, Russ. The winter will pass, and we can go see the flowers by the lake when spring comes. All of us together. What? But Chirac has never had a catastrophe. Exactly, that's what I said. But it was like literally the first sentence of the description. Surus closes her eyes and falls asleep quietly. It should be a moment of happiness. They were worried that Chirac is not enough Arknights, so they had to throw in a catastrophe, you know? It should be a moment of happiness. But Yucatan feels a rock in his heart. He looks outside. The clouds are thick and heavy, but the snow refuses to fall. This kind of weather is rarely seen in the Chirac. Maybe we're in for a cold winter this year, Yucatan thinks. Oh, you wish. When the winter passes. It's not even a weather metaphor, that's the weather plot point. She is omnipresent. She cannot be sought. We need not question her existence. She is there when we chose to follow her. Do you remember this from the scriptures? No, this is not how it should be. If she is omnipresent and cannot be sought, then who hears her will, and who... You should rest, Great Elder. Don't let yourself suffer. I see it, Enya. I see unprecedented calamity descending about Mount Karlan. I see Originium bringing ruin to the land. I see her abandoning Chirag. Caught in a bout of excitement, the old man stares outside the window, his face warping and twisted, seemingly... Okay. The old man stares outside the window, his face warped and twisted, seemingly seething in anger, or engulfed by a terror that defies description. He raises his withered arms, trying to grasp something, only for them to fall back down meekly. Finally, he quiets down, as though he has expended the last sliver of strength he had. Great Elder. Enya, say a prayer for me. The final chapter of the Cheragander. Honestly, I'm surprised Great Elder survived so fucking long after Enicodes poisoned him. Yeah. That was what I was thinking. Like, I was thinking, wait, isn't this guy supposed to be dead? And all the rivers shall converge upon this place at the end of it all. And you shall walk the path forever alone. Gonna something good as fucking sucks at poisoning? Yeah. That's good, I think. I think poisoning people is like... I guess it's a good skill to have. If you don't need to use it, at least. Well, okay, it's only a useful skill to have if you do need to use it, but like... it's good if you're in a situation where you never need to use it, you know? But if you do, it's nice to know how to. I'm making so much sense right now. And you shall walk the path forever alone, and the path you shall walk lies beneath your feet. She sighs as she speaks the words. She turns around and disappears into wind and snow from whence she came. You have no hope of escape. The people of Chirac know the wind and snow better than any outsider. Your arts are not effective here. We don't want to damage our relationship with Rhineland. Otherwise, I would keep you here by any means necessary to retrieve the military secrets that you stole. I'm not getting your military secrets. I have no reason to believe you. You don't understand. I don't understand what. You don't understand what these data mean. How long do you think your god will protect you? You can't talk this your way out of this. Wait. What's with the clouds? Run. There's a bomb. There's a bomb for the mountain. Well. Large. The avalanche struck in an instant. A loud crack moved the mountains that had remained dormant for many years. Snow poured down the slopes, mixed with rocks and black crystals, and all creation was obscured by gray and white. The mountains trembled. The echoes lingered in the valley. Lingering echoes? Few could comprehend what had just happened. It was the first catastrophe in history to strike this place. Yeah, big deal. Maybe they should consider making like a nomadic city. I don't know. Amidst the wailing. Team Alpha, drop the supplies into East Side clearing. Set up medical tents in conjunction with the Pelleroach reinforcements, and be ready to receive wounded. Right. Team Travel, take your shovels and wineskins and look for survivors in the ruins of the train station. Be thorough and keep your eyes open for any cries. Alright, team, grab your gear and follow me. Try not to make too much noise. We could still be looking at a second avalanche. A team is on its way to investigate the mountains. Trust our people and trusting Cheragander's protection. Like Cheragander. Like Cheragander. Like Cheragander. Time is wasting. Get moving. Yes, sir. Before the voices disperse in the cold wind, the servants of the clans River Ash are already on the move, spreading out on the snow in every direction. They are not the only ones here. The white tide has torn a gash in the peace. Over here. This one's alive. Fuck, okay. Over here, this one's alive. Hang in there. You're a son of Cheragander. You can take it. My leg. I can't move my leg. My leg is... Don't move. Somebody in the back. Report. We dug a hole, but his leg is pinned under the steel girder. If we can't get it out of the way, we'll need a surgeon to... No, I'll try to dig it open a little bit more. Okay, good news. The girder's already broken. All we need to do is to lift it up. All we need is a little elbow grease. Over here, all hands on deck. Hold tight. 1, 2, 3... Oh, it hurts. We got a gap. Pull him out now. I got him. Take it easy. Lift him up and put him on the tarp. Careful not to pull the wound open. Slowly. Carefully. Got it. Stretchers. Out of the way. Stretcher coming through. Suppressed, restraining cries. Rescuers, stretchers, survivors. They do have Rhode Island medics here. That's nice. I mean, I kinda imagine they would, since we are cooperating quite closely, I would even say. So they would probably have a Rhode Island office in here. I think there might have already been one actually in Arknights. There already was like a Rhode Island office, wasn't there? The rescuers ran back and forth in the white snow, their faces red with exertion, hot sweat dripping on the snow. Take over for me here, Gula. Save every soul you can. Right. But where are you going, sir? Sir Arkrush, is rescue work on the south already done? No, not yet. Gula's overseeing it. I come to find you. We're handling things here. No need to worry. The Browntails' help has already arrived. You brought blankets and food. They brought blankets and food. Madame Ratatos wanted to come personally, but she seems to be otherwise engaged. I figured as much. We know what's going on. Nobody blames her. She's drunk. The timing on this bloody disaster. It came out of the blue. There were no warning signs. No chance to prepare. Yes, that's why I came to you. You know the rules. This avalanche happened on Peleroach land, and we are responsible on the mountains here, for the mountains here. We have been watching the thickness of the snowpack. I've seen it records myself. Everything was normal. That's why I came to ask. Don't you have people in that research institute of yours whose job is to check on the mountains? What are they saying? Research institute? You mean Rhine Lab? Yeah, they spend all day on the mountains getting all the newfangled gear. You're not telling me that they didn't find anything, are you? They have their own projects to deal with, and they don't necessarily focus all their attention on the mountains. Besides, we came as soon as we heard about the avalanche. We haven't had a chance to find out what they know. Tyrannicodes sent Degenbrecher up the mountains with the team. They should be back soon. This is sending chills up my spine. What in blazes is this avalanche? Well, before we find out what this avalanche is, we'll take a short break, and I'll be right back. Hello, I'm back. Hi. Hmm. Give me a sec. Oh, nice. In the wind wails, scattering snowflakes with it. The man turns around and stares at the mountain. He may be mountain among men, but he's little more than a pebble before the silent mountains. Is that the group is moving quickly down the snowy mountain path, heading for the two men. Sir Metalhorn, you must let Sir Enicodes know at once. We found... The investigator's expression is deathly pale, his fur boots wet and grey with dirt snow. In the wind, his rapid and dragged breathing sounds almost like wailing. If there are no further questions about the framework agreement, let us now move on to detour terms of the agreement. First, concerning taxation of the joint Cherak-Casimir's mining endeavor. Sir, Madame Degenbrecher is outside. She has something to report. Right now? Yes, she says it's extremely urgent. What's this urgent matter? We found this on the mountain where the avalanche occurred. Degenbrecher opens her gloved hands, and a small black shard of orchinium lies quietly in her palm. On the mountain in Cherak? If the mountain by the train station counts as Cherak. Both Gnosis and Rhode Silence have examined it. It's almost certain that... Degenbrecher looks around her, making sure there are no eavesdroppers, and drops her voice. The avalanche was a catastrophe. How many know? The investigation team is our people, so we can keep them quiet, but a number of those at the foot of the mountain have been infected. It won't be a secret for long. Instruct Metalhorn to set up a blockade and not allow civilians to approach. I want checkpoints in the mountains as well. Contact Rhode Silent and request secretary in the housing and treatment of patients. Secrecy. Tell them to contract Garlantrate if they need any help. And tell Ratatos and Arktos to meet me at the train station in 1 hour, whatever it takes. Understood. Anything else? Take a squad and go to Van Veet Court immediately. And tell Gnosis to take a team to protect the Ranlev observation station. Understood. Nicodes checks his clothes and goes back into the conference room. I apologize for the delay. Let us continue. First, continuing taxation on the joint Cherak-Casimir's mining endeavor. Preposterous. Preposterous. There has never been such a prophecy in any of the scriptures. Why would Cheragander punish us with the catastrophe? It's preposterous. But it happened. She has left us because she is angry with us. How do we explain this catastrophe, if not by Cheragander's anger? Look at the crowd surrounding the Van Veet courts now. They are pious believers in Cheragander, gentle children of Cherag. Are we to tell them that the families and friends they lost, all their suffering happened for no reason at all? The people are troubled, their faith is shaken, but it's at times like this that our own faith must be stronger than ever. How do we know this isn't a trial from Kcheragandr to reinforce our faith? Kcheragandr has not abandoned Kcherag. Why would she punish Kcherag for no reason? Perhaps it happened because we have acted against Kcheragandr's will. The young cleric takes one look at the saintess in the middle of the hall, then lowers his head without a word. You may speak your mind. Saintess, I believe this is the fury of Kcheragandr. It's a warning. Because the Van beat court, because we made the wrong choice. We should not have allowed the Faithless to build upon Mount Carolan. We should have remained firm, rejected them. If they did not defile the temple of Kcheragandr and anger her, why would Kcherag... His voice grows lower, but at the same time firmer. The hall is quiet, with no one speaking out in objection. I see. You believe that I, the Saintess, have offered Kcheragandr and brought catastrophe upon Kcherag? No, Saintess. What I mean is... No, your words have valuable insight, offer valuable insight. It is not only the people at the foot of the mountain. Many who sit among us think the same way. Among us? This is what is happening now. People doubt the divine beat court, and you, too, are anxious and wavering. Cleric Fangat, Cleric Ronoa, one of you believes that Kcheragandr continues to favor us, as she always has. The other believes that Kcheragandr has. She bows and thinks for a moment, her alabaster face calm as ice. Recite to me the 3 protections detailed in the Kcheragandr. Yes, Saintess. The first protection, page 7, line 9 of the Kcheragandr. And so she spoke as she to the shepherd boy, saying, I shall grant you shelter, and all that you may need. I shall help the woods, and I shall plant seeds in the earth, such that you will have furs to wear and food to eat, and neither frost nor famine shall take you. And thus, she protects us from the harms of cold and hunger. The second protection, page 25, line 17 of the Kcheragandr. And so the protector came forth from the people, awakened in the clouds of myriad colors, and built high walls of earth watered with snow. And thus, she protects our home and our kin, and she taught us the means to defend ourselves from our enemies. On page 32, line 2 of the Kcheragandr, towards the end. That day, she proclaimed to the people, My eyes shall watch over you, my fur shall warm you, my backbone shall protect you, while my flesh and blood shall bless you. You have learned the way of wind and snow, and learned the form of walking. You are the people of Kcherag, and the land of Kcherag belongs to you from this day forth. Very good. Now tell me, is there anywhere in the Kcheragandr where Kcheragandr promises that Kcherag will always be safe from catastrophe? Are you making that promise to Kcheragandr's people on her behalf? Many of these sated clerics look down without a word. It is quiet enough to hear a pin drop. The smell of incense fills the nostrils, but it feels as though their breaths have been frozen in place by the exchange that just occurred. Your words ring true, Sanctus. Catastrophe has struck Chirag. Some have died, and others have become afflicted. The entire Snow Realm has heard the news. Fear, anxiety, sorrow, and even anger are spreading through the people of Chirag. Our duty is to seek a solution. Certainly. Now is not the time for debate, and my words are intended as a warning, not to fall into the twin traps of panic and prejudice. You are the faithful devotees of Chiragander, and you understand the weight that words have. No member of the Vanbeat Court is to speak of Chiragander's punishment from this moment forth. Tomorrow, I will go into the Hall of Writings and devote myself to studying the scriptures and hearing her voice. Elder Atso? Yes, Sanctus. As the new Great Elder, you shall oversee the Vanbeat Court in my stead during my retreat. You are to carry out the duties of the court faithfully and diligently, from placing the people to conduct the memorial service and copying the scriptures for the repose of the deceased. Understood. We must have faith. Chirag has weathered many storms and overcome many challenges. The Vanbeat Court is ever with the people. At least things haven't gotten out of hand. The girl exhales and slumps over the desk, finally able to relax and back the bag that she has kept straight for her in the snow, as a fur in the snow. I don't understand. Why do people keep treating our god as a wishing well? Why do they attribute everything good and bad in their lives to her? I know this is not how I should think, as the saintess, but I don't understand why a catastrophe would strike now either. Bring in the dressers, please, Char. The funeral preparations are done. Starting tomorrow, we will... Char? The room is quiet, except for the whistling of the wind and cracking in the fire. You know what I just remembered just now? Char is the boss fight of this. That's kind of a spoiler. But like, yeah. So. Suspicious. Maybe she was the imposter among us. Inga turns to find that the room is completely empty. Char, where are you? The handmaiden, who should be at the saint's side at all times, is nowhere to be seen. There is only Enya's own shadow, thin and long, in the light of the fireplace, flickering at the dim room. Yeah, but the boss of the ideal city was minimalist? Yeah. I'm just thinking that right now, at least, with what they are saying, it kinda makes sense. Also, I actually completely forgot that it was minimalist. That is what was the boss, huh? Char? And yeah, tell me, honestly, do you still hear Chiragander's voice? Char, sorry, I can't protect you from avalanches. I have to go be a boss fight. Yeah, she was preparing the arena. She couldn't protect us from an avalanche. She was like, looking for a spot where her boss fight could happen. She started like putting all those, what was the mechanic? like the statues that trigger the avalanches there. She meticulously positioned all of them to so it can kill all the enemies. What? The crackling of burning firewood echoes through the empty room. The wind continues to wail outside the window. You can almost hear the cries of the bewildered devotees at the foot of Mount Garlan. Enya recalls the day that she first came to the Saint's quarters. So there was fight in like when LG's are ashes, and then great ever she were little just telling the story. Yeah. So maybe it's like Enya, and then we beat the shit out of Cheraganther. Really? No. Yeah. Again, I just think, I'm in the first stage, before. But it's kinda like, suspicious since she's not here, and everyone thinks that Cheraganther is mad at them. So it kinda, with the information I have right now, it would make some sense that we would actually fight her. But kinda. An unfamiliar room, an unfamiliar smell. Home was well in sight, yet she would never return there under her own name. At that time, she felt the same emptiness, as though this room were a snowy cave. But she has grown accustomed to having a companion, someone to whom she can pour her heart out, someone on whom she can rely. But now, the Cherangandr scriptures lie open on the desk. The dressing mirror reflects the girl's helpless expression. Kar, you promised me you wouldn't disappear so suddenly. What exactly what happened? Well, we'll find out. Amidst the wailing after. Ranlev Observation Station, Chirac, 2 months ago. Oh! That was fast. An observation station of this size, built in such a short period of time. Business must have cried tears of blood when they approved the budget. Actually, we got more sponsorships offers from financial institutions than we could handle the moment the committee approved the Chirac observation station. If anything, funding was the last of our worries on this project. Honestly, Silence, I didn't expect the committee to approve the proposal that easily. I had my reservations. I still think Rhinelab is too adventurous with regard to research into the starport. There are numerous potential risks that we have not fully considered. But I also recognize that the stability I hope for may never come. At the end of the day, it's the specific people in whom we place our trust. Well then, thank you for your trust, Silence. As the Scientific Ethics Consensus Committee, I hope what we are doing is worth it. Of course it is. The station is a unique opportunity for the company. In addition to the starport research, the low-origin environment of Chirac also offers a rare opportunity for biological research. Not to mention, Miriam has wanted to visit Kalan for ages. Even Ferdinand came up with a proposal for the station's core power supply just 2 weeks after we got approval. Of course, he buried his head into his theoretical research right after that, Lena from Energy is handling the actual implementation. Let's hope our interactions with Chirag go as smoothly. I believe there will be no need to worry about that. Lena, yeah. The door in the observation station opens from the outside. The visitors flicker away, the snow that has fallen on his shoulders, and walks in. We meet again, Mr. Edelweiss. Just a regular visit to see if you need anything for the construction of the station. It seems like things are progressing quite smoothly. Gnosis looks up at the bright lights installed on the spacious ceiling of the station. Ranlab and Arknights have worked together to build this little temple, sturdy and bright, in an astonishingly short period of time. Compared to the houses of Chirag, its bold, futuristic design might as well have come from another world. Arknights will do everything in our power to assist Ranlab's observation project and provide any assistance necessary outside of the scope of work. As long as the terms agreed in the treaty are upheld, you will enjoy maximum freedom to conduct your activities in Chirag. Thank you for your generosity, Mr. Edelweiss. Research has always been the sole purpose of Ranlab. We have no reason to violate the treaty. Of course, I believe as much. Such transnational cooperation is unprecedented in the history of Terra. It will undoubtedly produce its share of obstacles. I simply wish to express that as long as we process with due candor in the sharing of scientific information, we will be able to avoid the sort of accident that occurred in Tremont. Oh, I forgot to ask, will the scientists come and visit the station? I expect she will attend the opening ceremony once the facility is complete. Is there a particular reason why you hope to meet her? Oh, nothing serious. I'm just a curious critter. I kinda remember the Saintess wasn't too into our project, but then she flipped around and agreed all of a sudden. I just wanna know what made her change her mind, and I figured that that would be a chance to ask. The Saintess has a very busy schedule. If you wish to meet her, you may want to attend some local ceremonies, if the fancy strikes. Sure, I want cannons? Yeah. That's understandable. The Saintess and the Vineweed Court would be very happy to receive you. Let me know if you have such intentions, and I'll make the necessary arrangements. Well, aren't you meticulous? You see, shit. You seem made for the job. I'm simply showing you proper Chirag hospitality. It's our mutual hope that this cooperation will be a fruitful one, free of trouble. Much appreciated. Our project wouldn't be going so smoothly without your help. I would not call it help. We're simply trying to achieve the same goal. Arknights will connect the mountains of Chirag for you, paving the roads and providing the necessary freedom for your activities. In turn, Ranlab shall share data from your studies of our local ecology and assist with medical development. The contact details have to go between Director Fitzroy and Arknights, of course. I'm a researcher, not a diplomat. I just want you to know that Ranlab has come on this sacred place in good faith. On this, I think we are on the same mind. They shake hands with nods and smiles, an image that could have served as a perfect press photo. There is no need to worry. We'll continue along as friends, assuming we both abide by our agreements. The representatives of Arknights are here, Elena. They want to meet a representative of Rand Lab as soon as possible. Why? We don't have any scheduled meetings with Arknights, do we? Is it because of the catastrophe? They want to discuss the cause, and at least obtain the data observed by the station. Right. Did you see Caroline anywhere? She's supposed to be in charge of the observation data, isn't she? That's the other question I have for you. We haven't seen her since yesterday morning. What? Men with guns surrounding the station, demanding all of our research gather in the lobby for questioning. Is this how Arknights treats its friends, Mr. Edelweiss? The researchers stand around at the spacious lobby in small groups. Gnosis and the guards of Clan Silverash occupy the outside area near the door. The two groups stand opposite one another, as though separated by an invisible river. It's a request, not a demand, and it seems that not all your researchers are accounted for. Who exactly are you looking for? A researcher who was spotted in the restricted military zone of Cherag. Gnosis scans the faces of the researchers one by one. The strong guards stand silently while the researchers exchange wordless gazes. She's not here. It seems that Rand Lab is not fully aware of your researcher's whereabouts. If you're accusing us of espionage, I'll ask you submit your complaint through the official channels. They are unable to cooperate with an impromptu investigation like this. Like so. Of course, there's another reason why I'm here. I'm sure you have heard about the catastrophe that occurred within Cherag's borders several hours ago. Something that has never before happened in our history. Well, you just got really lucky for so long, you know? Sometimes the luck just runs out. Panic is spreading. The people's nerves are sensitive, and anything new may provoke a reaction. I'm sure you understand what I mean. Should I trust that you are not one of the sensitive ones, Mr. Edelweiss? My views on this matter and Arknights' views are not important at this time. What is important is that the people want an explanation, hope to work together with you to find the cause of this catastrophe. I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. I just checked the station's observation logs. There was nothing out of the ordinary in the 72 hours preceding the catastrophe. They were telling me that the observation station did not detect anything abnormal leading up to the first catastrophe to strike this land in 1,000 years. Yeah, you just got lucky for 1,000 years, you know? That's the truth, at least based on our observation data. Elena? It's alright. Mr. Edelweiss wants the truth. We'll give him the truth. The primary objective of the observation station is to study the starpod. Current research shows no relationship between the starpod and catastrophes. Similarly, any assertion that building an observation station here might bring catastrophe to Cherag is purely speculative, with no basis in evidence. Wait a second, Elena. There's not the time to be argumentative. I think she's making sense. May I be frank? You may. The young woman's voice is calm, her gaze firm and unwavering. I won't mince words then. This may run contrary to the Cherak fate, but from a scientific perspective, the so-called sudden catastrophes are not an abnormal occurrence. It is the peace and quiet that Cherak has enjoyed for so long, and the attitude of taking it for granted, that is truly abnormal. The lobby is completely quiet. Lena's words echo to the end of the corridor. When this observation station was first established, Rhinelab considered adding a catastrophe warning system. Unfortunately, we placed too much trust in past experience and did not consider the installation of the system to be a priority. If we are to take remedial measures, the real priority should be for Rhinelab and Karlan Trade to go back to the negotiating table and establish an effective catastrophe warning system in Cherak as soon as possible. A most astute observation, miss. I agree completely. Karlan Trade will be developing a catastrophe warning system a top priority. We would like to obtain a copy of the station's observation data from the past month. May we expect your cooperation? Of course. One moment, please. Huh. I didn't know you had it in you, Elena. Sorry, Director Mulesys. Was I too hot-headed? A little bit, maybe. I was just angry at how science has to explain for perception that are completely unscientific, no matter where we are. We are to recognize that science can be a very distant thing for a lot of people. The people and the things that trouble us are part of this land. It's not something that we can ignore. Like science said, science is a clear, incisive look at every one of us. I know, but this is just so absurd. Never mind that for now. Let's get the data we need. Data. It's not like we'll find anything. Wait, this graph. Lena picks up the scattered papers and notices the shape of a certain curve on a spectrogram. This is impossible. What is it? This machine is used to study the starport structure by bombarding it with high-powered particle beams and observing the resulting electromagnetic radiation. Wait a minute, this graph says Arknights hates us and wants us to die? Yeah. That's my favorite graph. But I just realized that the data obtained between 3 and 4 AM on December 7th is identical to the data from the same period on December 4th. An unusual coincidence? No, it's impossible. Well, it happened. Just like how two snowflakes are no two snowflakes are completely alike. Atmospheric electromagnetic radiation is constantly changing. There's only one possibility if the exact same waveform is displayed during the same two periods on 2 different days for an entire hour. Someone altered these data. Oh. Falsifying data to support a hypothesis? But people don't usually pull shenanigans like that until way later in a project. Got any idea who might have done it? December 7th, the day before the catastrophe. I wonder. The one on observation duty was Carolyn. Would it be... Angry shouts pierce through the metal walls. Give Mount Karlan back to us! Back to Cherak! Back to Cheragander! Get off Cheragander's land! mean. Lovely neighbors. Yeah, I love my neighbors. Pretty sure someone's drilling right now. Or something. I think that's from the outside though. Yeah. I don't think that's my neighbors. That's someone outside. Well, it might be my neighbors who are outside. There they are. The unclean who defied Mount Garlan and the faith of Chirag. The southern house of foreigners has angered Chiragandr. Oh, Chiragandr on high, forgive our sins. The sound of praying and sobbing, mixed with angry shouting. The sound wave into a rope, connecting the tearful, fearful, and angry faces, surrounding newly built observation station. Shira, how could you? I think she is very mad about how they built her statue. And you know what? I think that's fair. I think she has a point. The steel door remains unmoving. A wizened voice cuts through the crowd. Remember that the wind wrapping the mountains does not come from nowhere. The wind continues to roar. The old woman walks across the snow to the tightly shut doors, her voice clearly heard by the others. It is her breath sweeping down from the snow-white peaks. It is her ever-vigilant watch, rising from the deepest valley to the highest cloud. It will drive out the miasma of evil and the parasites that hide among the rocks. It brings all the sounds back to her ears, so that she will hear at the mountains bright and clear. Wait, is that door moving? Yes, they are opening the door. Our protest worked. Open up and hear our voice. Listen to the true voice of Chiragandr's people. Listen to the voice of Chirag. You are not welcome here. You must leave. Outsiders of Mount Garlan. Go back where you came from. Outsiders of Mount Garlan. Outsiders of Mount Garlan. The cries grow louder and clearer. Someone stretches out and waves towards the sky. Is it the result of a sincere prayer? Or did the combined force of their invocations cause steel to tremble? The door opens. All breaths are abated in the silence. That garb. Are they from Clan Silverash? The one behind them, the Edelweiss? Did he come to send these outsiders away? He'd better. They were the ones who brought those people in, and they should be the ones to pick up the mess. But something about his expression. We are the protesters. Avoid casualties. Put down your weapons. Back off. You're not backing off. Why are you telling us to go away? The ones who should go away are... Keep your hands off me. Edelweiss, whose side are you on? Whose side do you think they are on? Their weapons and shields are pointed towards us. Isn't it clear enough who his friends and enemies are? A blizzard is coming. You should leave before the road is completely blocked. No need to worry about the dangers along the way. Glen Silverage guards will ensure your safety and bring you back to... Grandma, wait, don't... The old woman forces her arm through the guard's ranks. Her movements are swift and without hesitation. The cold snow splashes upon the Liberi's face. Make Chiragander forgive your sins. Pity and resolute mercy congregate upon the wrinkled face. Her cold fingers touches Gnosis's forehead, leaving behind a simple curved line. A Chirak ritual, intended to drive the evil out of a child afflicted by a fever. May her miracle drive out the miasma of evil, and the parasites that hide amongst the rocks from you. Remember that the wind of Chiragandr have visited upon your stubbornness before. Now, you send her away. Go home, madame. There's no change on Gnosis's expression as snow melts flows down his face. The winds on the mountains are harsh. Don't get you cold. Cherak, the beautiful paradise, clean and pristine beneath the wind and snow, fierce and pure under the divine protection. The faith of its people is firm as the mountains, never wavering. Or perhaps a single flake of snow is all it takes to begin its collapse. What do you think of the catastrophe? Will it shake your faith in Chiragander? The faith of Chirak isn't so weak. The people of Chirak have never wavered, even before the toughest trial. I'll set out for Mount Garland once the catastrophe is cleaned up, and my leg is good again. The son of Chirak will drive out all corruption and evil, and those who bathe in it need fear neither pain, nor illness, nor the stone disease. Chiragander is great. Chiragander is kind. She will never abandon Chirak. Everything will go back to the way it was, once we cleaned up the snow. Of course, it's all the fault of those Rhinelet people. Everything started going back when they came. Chirak doesn't need no observation station. All we need is Chiragander's protection. Drive them out. Give me back my peaceful life, and my mom and dad. Is there anything I can help? Wait, you're Victorian? Get your pitchforks. Who let this one into the village? Columbians and Victorians, is everybody making their homes on our turf now? Get lost. You're not welcome here. Phew, this will be tougher than I thought. Do you need some help? Hi, I'm fine. I'm just short on film. I don't suppose I'll be able to find any here. Let me see. You can get this model from the Central Mall in the Silver Ash domain. Nice fix. Are you a photographer from Victoria? A reporter, to be exact. Good timing. May I get an interview? Who? Me? How do you view the catastrophe that just occurred in Chirak? How do you view your fate when Chiragander no longer protects Chirak from catastrophe? I thought I heard you talking about Chiragander and catastrophes from over there. You want to know how Chirak people think? Of course, we came to report on the true Chirak. People in other lands know very little about it, and we want your voices to reach them. There's no need to be burdened by the weight of a religion. Liberate yourself from the systematic oppression of rules and tradition, and tell me what you truly feel. Wow, I've never heard so many big words spoken in a single breath. Oh my god, you suck. My view on catastrophes is simple. They are bad. Catastrophes outside Chirac are really bad. And it's the same for the catastrophe in Chirac. People suffer and get hurt everywhere. It makes me sad, and I wish these things never happened. As for fate, may I ask a question? Does Victoria have a god too? Victoria? Yes, I'm curious what the god of Victoria is like. Is he really petty? Does he get angry easily? You've been going around the village asking questions for days, but you don't talk about anything other than Cheragander is angry, and Cheragander has abandoned you. So I thought maybe fate to you is something that's colder, harsher. A smile appears on the girl's face. Her cheeks rise, and her voice is light and spry. I believe the god of Cheragander isn't like that. Cheragander is like the people of Chirac, generous and kind. She doesn't get angry over cable cars and factories, or light bulbs and books, and she won't throw a tantrum by causing a catastrophe and taking lives. Cheragander isn't petty like that. Yeah, alright. We'll take a short break now. And yeah, that's it. She will pouch a lot if they make her face too wide. Oh, yeah. She will cause a catastrophe over that. But yeah, we'll be right back. Hello. Heave ho. One more box. Come over. Alright, put it down. We've got room on your truck. We got another 15 barrels of Verdant Beast milk wine. Verdant Beast milk wine? Interesting. You can bring it with you. Can you bring it with you? 15 barrels? You ought to keep it. Can't have a big bar like this and nothing for guests. The 3 great clans alone have donated plenty of stuff to the afflicted village. Not to mention the local gentry. A few barrels of wine more or less won't make much a difference. I don't like it to hear that. They can donate, but I can't. Who are you to decide whether they need it or not? Which of us has actually seen a catastrophe before? But that's too much. Not to mention the local gentry? Yeah, let's not do that. Will says a chant praying mantis on gentry. I think those are like kinda dangerous, right? Or like very strong for their size or something, I heard. I might be completely wrong though. There was once of those in Kung Fu Panda, I think. And it was very dangerous. It knew Kung Fu. Actual praying mantises are pretty fast. I guess fast, not strong maybe. And effective predators. But they are completely harmless to humans, yeah. But if it was a giant one, I assume it wouldn't be harmless to humans anymore. It's not. I know you're short on wine. Not only does wine keep people warm, it can also be used in medicine, and even to disinfect wounds when necessary. If we had all this stuff back then, well, never mind. Anyway, you're taking it not 1 barrel less, or I'll take it as you saying that I'm not one of you and I don't belong to Chirac. Wait. That's not what I meant. Then take it. Think of it as doing me a favor. You know how that father-in-law of mine is like. When a vine causes blood flow to the extremities of the body, which actually makes you lose more heat even though you feel warmer. Interesting. Is that like all alcohol or specifically wine? He's endured hardship all his life, but he's never been stingy when it comes to sharing with hungry people. Now move aside and let me put the cargo in. Alcohol, yeah, gotcha. Just don't get in any trouble and make him even angry. I would not know anything about that. I never drink alcohol, as we all know. I still remember how we huffed and puffed when you proposed to his daughter. I thought he was a nice guy who just wanted to help. Turned out he was after my little girl Freya, he said. He said it, and he was still mad, so he pulled out his cane. What are you lot chatting so excitedly about? Your father? Let's get to work. Dad and I just checked our stock. We still have about 2 truckloads of stuff. Mostly dried meat and cheese. Plus some butter and herbs. Good thing I got you before you left. Greta needs to tell Carla and Trade to send another truck here. 2 trucks? You... I told you, Greta. Fine, fine. Suit yourself. You're the one... you're the only newlywed I know who'd rather give away their whole storehouse before taking any gifts. It's a catastrophe, after all. It's never happened to Cherak. No one knows how bad it is. But now is the time for us to walk together and help each other. In Cheragander's name. In Cheragander's name, we'll work together and pull through. Let's go back, Lisbon. Lisburn. The wind's getting stronger. I can't help but have a feeling. Feeling of what? A strange feeling that something's about to happen. No, I must be overthinking it. Harold, your intuition is as sharp as always. Wait, Harold? Is this real? Am I dreaming? Well, that's certainly an honor. You still remember my name. Looks like you haven't forgotten the time we fought alongside each other. Please, stop making fun of me. What brings you here? What else could it be? We've heard that there's a spot of trouble in Cherak, so we came to offer some warmth, as a good neighbor should. Wow, a whole truck of supplies. A truck? Take another look. Harold gestures behind himself, and Lisbon sees a long procession of vehicles bearing the Victorian crest, stretching as far as the eye can see. Some warmth, you say? Well, we're warmer than some other folk, to be sure. I must emphasize our concerns regarding this matter, Mr. Silverash. We consider Arknights a reliable partner, and Cherak as a respectable nation. We had hoped that the observation station would be the tip of this sphere of our mutual understanding and cooperation. I have to say, at the moment, we are disappointed. I understand Your Excellency's concern. Allow me to explain. No, I don't need an explanation. We understand the unfortunate circumstances that have befallen Cherak, and we express our deepest sympathies. But that is no reason for Cherak mobs to attack innocent Colombian scientists. We are seeing verbal abuse of our scientists, promoting hate and xenophobia. We are outraged by Cherak's contempt for and violation of the safety of other people. Should your government continue to allow the situation to spiral out of control, the Colombian side will take action to ensure the safety of Rhine Lab's researchers by evacuating them in accordance with our treaty. Regarding the incident at the Rhine Lab observation station, Arknights personnel have arrived on site and are working to de-escalate the conflict, preventing the situation from further deteriorating. As I understand it, there has been no injury to a person or property. Should we thank our lucky stars, or that public sentiment has not yet reached a boiling point? Should we continue to trust in Cherak's ability to stabilize the situation, or should that public outrage dissipate overnight? The fireplace cracks, sending forth a wave of warmth, but there is no warmth on the faces in the room. The Colombian ambassador adjusts her posture and raps the table with her finger, speaking in a calm tone. We respect the professionalism, sincerity, and capability that Arknights has demonstrated in the past. It has allowed our cooperation and scientific collaboration to progress safety up to this point. Now, however, the Columbia's best and brightest are in danger on your land, danger that they never should have found themselves in. Chirac needs to provide a solution, or at least demonstrate a will to resolve the situation. Your Excellency cannot ask so much as a developing country. Considering Chirac's current circumstances, I find Mr. Silverash's performance thus far quite impressive. I see that Victoria shows great care for her neighbor. But of course, a kind neighbor should always be ready to lend a kind hand. Remember the Prince of Victorian folklore who gave his golden crown to a foul beast in the snow. Ow. Huh. The man smiles with the expression of unnatural benevolence. He draws out a piece of paper from his pocket and unfolds it on the table. Here is a checklist for the first sketch of humanitarian assistance. Food, blankets, medicine, spirits, sugar, salt, a team of doctors, and 2 veteran peacekeeping squads. Exactly what Chirac needs right now. This is very generous. Chirac appreciates your kindness. Not mine. This is the kindness of the Empire of Victoria. Our prince had a heart of gold. He would give his prized sword in the same way he would offer gold and silver. It all depends on what you need, and what manner of threat you face. There's no need to fear or worry. I'm sure you will make a decision that is satisfactory to all 3 sides of us. After all, survival is an art form in the snow realm, is it not, Mr. Silverash? Gazes beckoning and questioning converge upon the piece of paper, and on the silent young man. What are your thoughts, Mr. Silverash? And Nicodes looks down at the pushed piece of paper and picks it up. Black and white, neat and clear. There's no deception. Even the names of the squad leaders are listed on the paper. A perfect show of sincerity and pomposity. I have no reason to refuse, do I? As you said, this is exactly what Chirac needs right now. The supplies will keep the people fed, and the doctors will help us win more battles against illness and death. As for trained soldiers, I am sure I do not need to expound upon usefulness. To the question that was interrupted, Madam Ambassador. Chirac vowed to protect the safety of each and every researcher at the station when it was first established. That vow has not been broken. I'm not sure why you are so eager to reach the conclusion that Chirac has lost control of the situation. The Van Beat Court and Arknights will uphold our end of the bargain. May I ask you to continue to trust in Chirac's ability to deal with our own problems? As for whether the incident at the observation station was an accident, or instigated by those with ulterior motives, I believe that time will tell. Very well, Mr. Silverash. I look forward to your show of competence. But I must remind you how important the project is to Columbia. We believe it to be of paramount significance to Altera. Therefore, the Colombian side will deploy any means necessary to protect the scientists and their findings. Any means necessary. Indeed, I too believe that the scientists exploration taking place in Chirac belongs to all of Terra. The Empire and Victoria will do our part to maintaining Chirac's stability. Of course. I'm sure we are all of one mind on this matter. Sun shines in through the window, past the shoulder of the Colombian ambassador, and upon the chest of the Victorian ambassador. He stands up from his chair, his back perfectly straight. The discussion seems to have come to a close. Such a wise decision. It seems all of us have gotten what we wanted. Phew. Is the meeting over? How long have you been waiting? Half an hour. I made good use of it going through 4 reports while I was waiting. Take a seat if you want to drink. Help yourself. Thank you, but I've already helped myself to the tea that you kept on top of the shelf. It has been there for a little too long. There's finally time to ask you. What's the situation at Rhine Lab? They have no insight into the catastrophe, as expected. Our people demonstrated enough restraint. There weren't any real attempts at violence. Most satisfied themselves with reciting the Cheragander as they held hands. But I noticed that there were a few people at the front who shouted the loudest, only to disappear into the crowd when they saw the soldiers. Are you concerned? I'm concerned that this may only be the first incident. The observation station is not the only place where conflict is happening. There have been protests and rallies in the domains of the other 2 clans. Strikes at our factories as well. I'm dealing with it. Someone understands that they can use the catastrophe as a weapon. They know the power of the people's will. A trick that you have displayed before, but the weapon is not in your hands this time. You skipped the part where someone threw snow in your face. Is that important? It's the only thing that's unexpected. Did you expect Columbia and Victoria to sit you down for a game of good cop, bad cop? Yes and no. The Colombians' attitude is aggressive, but at the end of the day, it's continued cooperation that you want. The most important thing for them is that the observation station delivers results. As for the Victorians, they are more anxious than we thought. I saw Harold's caravan. I'm sure he's wandering about the streets, telling neighborly stories with his old friends. His wandering should take him to Kailan Trade Headquarters in another 20 minutes. I suppose we have already signed and received the goods, and I don't suppose we had a choice. The Pearl Roaches and Browntails will find out soon. As for how they will take it, let's just say you should be prepared for the Track Land Council. Getting cold feet? I'm used to it. This nonchalant attitude of yours is why people hate you so much. Thank you for the compliment. At the end of the day, however, none of us expected this catastrophe to happen. You can act as unflippable as you like, but don't tell me this disaster hasn't actually faced you. I don't think you're actually that thick. I know. With risk, however, comes opportunity. It's the first catastrophe that Chirag has seen in 1,000 years. Perhaps it's time for certain things that have lasted 1,000 years to change. And Nicodemus looks out the window. It has started snowing again. covering the land of Cherak in white. The mountain winds continue to blow. They called the breath of Cheragander her messenger. It walks every inch of Cherab, bringing all its sounds back to her ears. She will tell right from wrong, good from evil, friend from foe, piety from falsehood, medicine from poison, and mirth from tears. She will pass judgment. There's no one other than what you shouldn't. There's one other thing that you should know. The avalanche caused by the catastrophe destroyed the train station at the foot of the mountain. Strangely, and fortunately, there were fewer people inside the station than expected. Yeah, because there was something who shouted there's a bomb, which is, like, actually very convenient. It was only in later interviews that we learned that someone had shouted about a bomb in the station, causing the crowd to flee. I wonder if that's why she went there in the first place. Because that's the researcher, like, you know, she's kind of suspicious. I think she knew. She had an idea. I'm pretty confident on that. But wondering why she didn't just announce it. Or something. I wonder how... If she did announce it, if people would, like... What would people think about that? Because... Well, because it would... yeah. They would think still, some of them, and maybe possibly, that is... Cheragander, like... Yeah, being mad at them, maybe, or something. Which they still do. So, but like, if people would believe her, or believe Rhinelab, or whoever. Who? We don't know yet. But the researcher who disappeared from Rhinelab remains unaccounted for. If they are one and the same, then she had not cleared the borders of Cherak when the catastrophe occurred. She should still be somewhere in the realm. I see. You're the only one I can count on for this gnosis. Find this woman without triggering a response from Rhinelab. You're finally starting to look serious. Should I ask why? You'll learn soon enough. But ideally, one should not have to rely on trick plays in the game of chess. Okay. That was 2 before, right? Yeah. So 2 after. When the winter night were long and there was no food to be found, she walked into the forest to look for seeds. No, not this one either. The word catastrophe doesn't even exist in the old Cheragi language. Is it possible that we truly have never been struck by a catastrophe before? I mean, yeah, what if they did and they just didn't know it was a catastrophe? Or like, yeah, didn't call it that, so the record of it didn't come to, like, the present. Or maybe the ancient people couldn't tell catastrophes from normal disasters and mix their records with others. Yeah, exactly, basically. I'm so smart. The snowmelt flooded field and pasture. The crops fell to an untimely winter tide. No, none of these sound like catastrophe. I remember there's another story that she used to tell. When the cold winter night froze the heart of Karlan, the enemy from far from afar came across the ice. The warrior stood vigil and with weapons in hand. At dusk, he saw a terrifying abomination in the mirror-like ice, Ratshorn. The warrior ran back to his clan to warn the others, but no one but the warrior could see the creature. Nobody believed his words, and so the warrior began to live in fear. Elder Atso, when did you... I came after morning prayers. I did not wish to disturb you, so I remained quiet, but I could not resist the urge to speak when you recited the familiar section of the scriptures. I apologize for disturbing you. It's alright. I just thought you were still handling matters of court. The light is dim. From Enya's vantage point, sitting on the high ladder, the great elder's robes seemed to blend into the color of the floor. He cannot see his expression. He must be very busy after taking over as Great Elder. Is everything going well? You think too highly of an old man like me, Grain Saintus. I have spent most of my life here in the Hall of Writings, and I hardly even step out of the Vineweed Court, not to mention dealing with matters off court. My only claim to this position is my age, and apart from that, I can only do my best. You're too modest. I haven't had many chances to speak to you, but I understand that you are a man of great learning. You flatter me. The more I study the tomes, the more conscious I am of my own ignorance. We all are, compared to her. But I heard that you had been studying the scriptures for 2 days and nights without rest, so I came to see if I could share the burden. It's good timing. I also have some questions that I would like to discuss with you. She closes the scroll and climbs down. The old wooden ladder creaks as it faithfully connects knowledge in high places and the silent ground. Thanks, ladder. Enya walks out from amongst the bookshelves with scrolls in her arms, sitting down by the spacious table that is already covered in open scrolls. This is what I've compiled over the past 2 days. I searched for any and all records of unusual disasters in Cherag, but I have yet to find any evidence of a catastrophe ever having occurred in our borders. And I still haven't been able to find an explanation as to why this catastrophe chose this moment to strike, when there's been nothing particularly unusual about the year's winter. The girl looks up from the scrolls to the Great Elder. However, the old man seems uninterested in the scriptures lying before him. He bows his head, squinting with sagged eyelids that lie below his white hair. Do you do not seem approve of the studies that I have pursued? No, I dare not be so impudent. We are seeking the truth of a catastrophe, the massive thing that has descended before us, the fear incarnate. Like digging a path through a mountain, or building a bridge over a river, your actions are undoubtedly logical. But to search the entirety of Cherag's history, every little tribulation within the fragments, it is an ordeal akin to searching for a grain of salt in the snow by candlelight. I'm not afraid of ordeals. I must find an explanation for this catastrophe. I must. Understand. You worry for Cherag, and take pity on those affected by the disaster, and I can feel there is some other anxious emotion driving you. But perhaps this anxiety has made you short-sighted. I've never asked you in private, Great Elder Atso. What do you think of this catastrophe that has struck Cherag? I must admit that my knowledge is shallow, and unable to explain the reason behind this catastrophe. But I agree with what you said a few days ago. Shiraganto never promised her people that they would be safe from the threat of catastrophe. Indeed, Shiraganto has never made any promises to her people. On the contrary, the scriptures often emphasize that we must not validate her existence through miracles. We believed in her because she believed she is good. Because we believe she is good. That she embodies all that is good. We follow her ways such that we can be our better selves. I agree with you. But I fear the public will not respond well to such an interpretation. Indeed, reason and insight are a pair of golden shoes that will take you far, but only if your feet can fit them. The day may come when your path of truth is validated, but it is not today. Then, what do we do? What do we do? This is a question I do not have an answer for. But you were reacting to the story of Rabsorn. Let us continue. Reciting, not reacting. She's a React streamer. The book on the table records a conflict that occurred over water sources. It is an old story, a common refrain in many civilizations. The Great Elder reaches out and pulls another book from under it. Dust intertwines with the scent of charcoal from the fireplace, like a piece of amber hovering in the air. The warriors searched far and wide for a way to fight the monsters, but even Cheragander could not help the warrior kill a monster that could not be seen. And so she led the warrior back to the frozen lake, and she spoke to him, saying the others cannot fight the monster, for they do not see it. Only you may find the way to defeat it. The warrior was enlightened. The heart of Karlan began to melt, and winter was driven out by spring. Shiragander granted her people the final blessing. Her tears froze the enemy, becoming 3 eternally frozen peaks. The first story of the Book of Home in the Shiragander. It has become subject to various interpretations by scholars of generations. The heart of Karlan likely refers to Lake Silverhanser, and some believe that this warrior who heeded the words of Cheragander was the very archetype of the saintess. Opinions differ on the enemy that came across the ice. As for the monster that could not be seen, Ralsorn, a word that has long lost its true meaning, and one of Cherag's most famous bedtime stories. Parents tell this story to children who refuse to go to sleep before tucking them back in. The name is so widespread that most people have forgotten that Ralsorn was not an incantation or meaningless babble, but a word with a clear, specific meaning. Many words lose their meaning over time. At one point, Ralsorn was believed to be a loan word that came to Cherag 1,000 years ago, the same origin as the word catastrophe. If I recall correctly, your work in Hall of Writings involves decoding and translating imported words that have lost their original meaning. Research that has fortunately borne fruit. The word Ralsorn has 2 parts: the short, stopped syllable red, and the stiff sibilant syllable sorn. The fireplace flickers as the Great Elder draws a line across the page with his finger, leaving a crease of shadow that fades away in a second. Cutting in half a mysterious abomination, the likes of which has never been seen before. The word sorn is not hard to understand. It translates roughly to something terrifying or unknown monster. It comes from Old Ursine dialects spoken in Chirac, which are still used by some of the older generations. It serves as an anchor for our exploration. Rud comes from Victorian, sharing an etymology with the word redleaf, which means blind or short-sighted. 5 centuries ago, a famous playwright from County Hillock penned the word for display. The Rose of Shah. Redleaf, which means unseeable, a place of darkness. Yes, so you have seen the manuscript and the comments on it. Unfortunately, I was young at the time. I left those comments and my knowledge deficient. I've pored over many pages in the years that followed, which granted me sufficient knowledge to discover and address the errors of my past. The room is silent, except for the sound of pen writing on paper, soft as the sound of a tiny bug crawling across the page. The word reads Ratshorn, the two etymologically different roots separated from each other, with a circle around Rud. It is indeed a place that is unseeable, a place of darkness that one cannot discover on one's own. It means the heart. Then the meaning of Ratshorn is the terrifying thing that in the heart of man. Exactly. The warrior saw his inner demons upon the lake. Others could not see it, because no one else can know your own fears. And Cheragander was powerless as well, because the only thing that can defeat one's inner demons is oneself. What is truly terrifying is not the disaster that we can see and feel, but the monsters in our hearts. You are wise, Saintess. The sages realized this is 1,000 years ago. Now this catastrophe that has struck Chirac is also a Ratshorn, which only Chirac can see. But now, there's no Cheragander to lead the lost warrior. Why do you say so? Cheragander could not help the people fight their inner demons, so she is absolutely good, without the flaws of man. The darkness that clouds the people's hearts does not exist in her. So she chooses a saintess from among the mortals, and bestows upon her the power to fight Ratshorn. Only she is always at Cheragander's side. The snow washes her eyes, her piety judged by ice. She hears the guidance of Cheragander, and cherishes the love of the people. I am basically flawless? Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I saw you burst into tears after you cut your own bangs. No, I mean, it's because the bangs were flawless. So it would be really sad. It's really sad cutting them, right? That makes sense. Only she can dig open ice and soil and make a path for the people of Chirac out of their heart's maze, such that Cheragander will return to us. That's what the people of Chirac have believed for centuries. Only the Saintess may atone on their behalf, on behalf of the children of Cheragander. Hello, Delt. Hope you're having a good day. The Great Elder places his hands on his knees and bows his head to an imploring gesture. The Saintess of the Vineweed Court sits on the other side of the candle. The flame flickers, and the wick grows long. Are you proposing pilgrimage It is time for the noon prayers. I'm afraid I must take my leave, Saintess. You can say yes or no before you leave. That wouldn't take too long. One moment, Elder Atso. Saintess. Something you said got my attention. You said Cheragander has never made any promises to her people, and that she does not rely on miracles to demonstrate her existence to her believers. Do you believe that Cheragander doesn't exist? No. Of course Cheragander exists. Look at our bodies, our faces, and hear our own language. Every tree and grass, rock and brick, in Cheragander is proof of Cheragander's existence. Of course, some hope for a divine spectacle from our god to affirm their own fate. But if a god truly stood before us, answering our every call, what need would remain of our fate? This is the first thing that every believer should know. For you to bring this up now, Never mind, I misspoke. The old man silently bows and leaves. He disappears through the door, like a speck of dust brushed off a page. I see you have beaten me here. Did the two of you summon me to discuss disaster relief? Gonna play the new update in my favorite game, not Limbus or Arknights. What is your favorite game? What the hell is this, Anicodes? Actor tosses a package bearing the Victorian crest on the table. A supply package containing a day's ready-to-eat rations, as well as emergency medicine. Don't play the fool. I'm asking why there are so many Victorians in Cherag at a time like this. The reporters are babbling all over the place. Soldiers dressed in workers' garb everywhere. I saw more Victorians than burden beasts on my way here. Don't tell me you don't know about this. I'm well aware that Garland Trade has been handing this stuff out. The Van Beat Court never enacted a ban on Victorians entering Cherag. Besides, Victoria's help has been sustainable for our present situation. Substantial. What would it do to Cherag's international reputation if he rejected the country's assistance? For no reason, at a time like this, let alone expelling our visitors. Some bloody help. Do you think we can overcome this catastrophe on our own, without those hypocrites pretending to be good neighbors? The teacup on the table ripples, sending part of its contents splashing into the wooden surface. It faintly reflects the heads of the three clans, like three mountains of a different height. Besides, what kind of help can the Victorians bring? Oh, I remember that man Helder helped, didn't he? Drinking with our people, chatting them up, going into the pens, treating the beasts and delivering new fowls. He made a burden beast fat and plump. People say he's Victorian, but he's not a bad guy. Well, and what happened? What did he do at Lake Silverhairs? Here I thought you were supposed to be the smart one, Anicodes, but you couldn't even learn that lesson. I'm telling you, no matter what the Silver Ashes and Browntails think, not one Victorian will set foot on the Poleroach land from this day forth. I don't care about your political goals or international reputation. I won't let the Victorians have their own way on Cherag soil. Calm down, Arktosh. Are we going to fight amongst ourselves before we have dealt with the foreigners? Then, what do you think, Ratatos? The fireplace continues to crackle. Ratatos's voice is calm. The dark rings around her eyes showing the toll that the past few days have taken on her. This time, I'm with Arkdosh. We have dealt with the Victorians the most. You know their ways, especially at a time like this. Victoria does not show kindness to Cherak for no reason. Hate could turn into a poison pill at any time. All the chaos we have seen over the past few years, what parts of it had nothing to do with foreigners? You, of all people, should understand the risks. I completely agree, Ratatos. But we must not forget that while stagnation may be the least risky course of action at present, this is also the surest way to doom. Doom? That reminds me of Doom. Sending people at a time like this, Victoria is testing us. They are hoping that we will fall apart on our own. It has taken so long and so much for Cherak to finally see the results to reform. To close our doors again at this junction would be to lay waste to all that we have done over the years. You're set on dealing with those Victorians? You have my word. Carlantrade has taken responsibility for the establishing contact with the other nations. We will handle Cherak's relationship with Victoria. How can you be so sure? As you said, Victoria has never given up on exploiting us. Have they ever succeeded, though? That look again. You're like you're always in control. Always so sure of yourself. Cherak is changing. Not just the changes that you have brought about, but also the changes brought about by catastrophe. And by progress. Nothing stays the same forever. That's true for your past successes too. And it's true of the great power, Lofty Perch. But Cheragander, I hope you know what you're doing. In the distance, the evening prayer bell tolls at the Vinebeat Court, echoing amongst the pillars. Sir Anicodes, the Saintess requests your presence at the Hall of Lectures. The Saintess? It seems we'll have to continue this conversation another day. Even if we have not reached an accord, do not forget it was the decision of the Vinebeat Court to open the Cherak to foreign dialogues. To cross the line now is to defy the Vinebeat Court and the Saintess herself. Don't try to keep my head down with some tough words. But remember this, my eye is open, and I won't allow anyone to do anything that will harm this land. There's no length I want to go to protect Cherak. Do remember, Sir Anicodes, that your decision affects more than just your domain and your company. This whole nation will be affected. I hope Cherak will not pay the price for your pride. No one can make Cherak pay as long as people remain united. Excuse me. Your visitor is here, Saintess. Wait at the door. Do not allow anyone to enter without my permission. Yes, Saintess. Cool art. For what purpose do you summon me, Saintess? Nothing important. I just realized it has been some time since your presence last graced the hall of lectures. Am I being charged with impiety? Then, if I'm being charged with impiety, then I have no defense. I will come to hear your lectures each week, once the current crisis has passed. I know you are a busy man, but I've rarely seen you so fatigued. I take it the matter at hand will have been troubling. I'm sure you understand that the people have been restless in the aftermath of the catastrophe. There is much to be done. But the Van Beat court will only grow busier. Take care. And Nicholas gestures under his eyes with his finger. Enya sees it, but says nothing. The fire burns bright in the fireplace, its warmth reaching the eyebrows and noses of the Silverash siblings, warming their pale and alike complexions. They are not looking at one another, but towards a solemn statue. I saw Arktos today. He looked out of sorts as he greeted me. Even Ratatos did not seem her normal self. It won't be the first time the three of you have fought, but a station like this I haven't seen in a long time. What happened? Temporal matters that you need not worry about yourself. Then please tell me, what are the temporal matters that trouble Cherag? Is it the Victorians? Yes and no. They immediately sent a large relief effort to Cherag as soon as the news about the catastrophe got out. Moment. The Columbians also learned about the incident at the observation station and threatened to send troops to protect and evacuate their scientists. Can't believe Shera was working for the Victorians, yeah. They are paying close attention to this catastrophe, each for their own reasons. So they understand Cherag better than we think. They know well what this catastrophe means to Cherag. The politicians smell chaos and see it as a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity to extend their influence onto Cherag. We knew that Victoria has been doing far more within our borders for a long time. They have simply stopped trying to hide it. I have a good guess as who is behind Victoria's movements. Her plot is not hard to decipher. It is simply the instincts of a politician. If I was in her shoes, I'd agree it would be but another chess piece to move. You know I don't like it when you get like that. I apologize. I spoke out of turn in this holy place. Why do you keep putting yourself in the plotter's seat, treating everything around you as a chess pieces or bargaining chips? Do you enjoy games like this? This is our reality, one that Flort cannot conceal. Florid? Florid words can't conceal. If you want to be strong, independent, even sit as equals with the great powers at the same table, then we must play by the same rules. Is this the most absurd part of it? Cherag is not the only country that preaches virtue and goodness. Those politicians too play the part of leaders and teachers in their own country. They are hypocritical and deceitful. But they teach their people to be honest and sincere. They are avaricious and insatiable, but they teach their people to be gentle and kind. I ask then, Sir Enicodes, Are the virtues that I preach to the people of Cherak as saints and the tenets of the scriptures all lies and nonsense to you? And yeah, the fire flickers as the charred piece of wood snaps into two. The name, buried for so many years, is once again uttered by Silver Ash. Sir Anicodes, would you have come to me today if I did not summon you with the authority of the Saintess? Cherak faces an unprecedented crisis. One wrong step, and we may never recover. We need unity more than ever, and the authority of the Saintess is crucial at a time like this. As you have finally recognized the importance of faith to our people, I never denied it. Faith in Cheragandra is fundamental to us. We cannot even begin to talk about this land without it. Yes, more than one person has said as much to me. But when we view fate from the perspective of gain and loss, have we really paused to think of our history, free from the threat of catastrophe, was a mere coincidence? There is no point in discussing whether it was a miracle or not. What happened, happened. The only thing we can do now is to calm the people. On this, at least, we are in agreement. It is not an easy thing. Then I shall begin my pilgrimage as Saintess. What? I set out early tomorrow morning. The news will be known all across Cherak by dusk. Was this the Van Beat Court's decision? It was my decision. The pilgrimage takes place in spring or autumn. Has a pilgrimage ever taken place in the middle of winter? Has a catastrophe ever occurred in Cherak? We don't have time. You know how dangerous this is. Of course I do. But how else do we calm the people's fear of catastrophe? How do we make them believe that Cheragandra will forgive their transgressions? There will be no companion, no temporal possessions, no carriages, no rest. The Saintess shall circle the land of Cherag on foot, atoning for the sins of all the people, and praying for Cheragandra's forgiveness. It will take 3 months, if all goes well. More than one Saintess has died on the journey. Then why do you... rather... The young woman pauses for a moment, then continues like the snow melting into the river, plowing down the peaks of Matterhorn. Matterhorn? They are surrounded by warmth. They, like those winter afternoon naps they took together when they were children. The distant shadows of the past return, trying to find the children who have grown up, find traces of the past on their faces. Azenia of Glen Silverash, I never forgave the choices that you made. As the Saintess of Cherak, however, I'm glad that there is still something I can do. I know it's not just the guidance of fate that Cherak needs. Indeed, misunderstanding about fate have hindered us for too long. The changes that you brought about, the factories, the railways, the trade, and the stations that watches the sky, all are things that can land our people out of the prison of the mind. Lead. Cherak never changes. Cherak needs change. I'm stupid. You must not stop. What I must do is to convince the people that what is happening is not because they did anything wrong, that there is salvation from their sufferings. There is only one salvation in the minds of the people, and only one capable of carrying the burden. I must fulfill my duty as Cherak's Saintess. You summoned me to inform me of your decision. Of course, I'm not asking for your opinion. You cannot stop me, nor do you have any reason to. I'll leave the matters of the three clans back to themselves while I'm away from the Van Beat court. Please make the necessary preparations to avoid any trouble. And take care of Ansia while I'm away. Don't leave her in fear. Ansia isn't a child anymore. She won't be so easily frightened. I'm more concerned about... It's getting late, Sir Anicodes. You should go and make preparations. Is this an order to leave? If you've understood it, you should act on it. As you bid. I take my leave. Bye. Anicodes bows reverently to the saintess and exits, as he has done so many times before. Molly, wait for me. The ball hits the wall of the farmhouse and bounces back to the feet of the boy who waves at the girl trying to catch up to him. Come on. Oh, you're always so slow. He kicks the ball several meters away. The girl grumbles and chases after it. The children are getting some rare free time in this foothill village. With only a couple dozen households, the children whose parents are too busy to watch are playing in the center of the village. As you know, the saintess has begun a pilgrimage for our people. This village is her final stop before she ascends the mountain. Remember what I told you. Change into clean clothes. And do not disturb the saintess when you see her. Am I clear? Will the saintess will be able to summon Cheraganter back to us, father? My wife is working in the city, and I haven't heard from her since the disaster. People in the nearby villages say Sir Anicodes has put a blockade around the scene, and no one knows what is happening. Do not worry, Baer. This is exactly why the saintess is embarking on her journey. Cheraganter will not abandon any of her children. But all of us here in this village have already been abandoned, haven't we? None of the young folk have been willing to stay in the farms since Garlantrade started their business. Let me tell you, if I didn't go lame with him when he was little... Hey, is this all you have to say? When the father and I have been taking care of you since your son left for the city? And I haven't heard a peep from him since the disaster. I'll be damned if I got anything else to say. Alright. Let's not argue in the saintess's presence. Baer, you should go check on old Carl. He said he wanted to catch a glimpse of the saintess, even if he had to crawl on all fours. Let me talk him out of... I see the saintess! Father, she'll be here soon. What? It's much sooner than I expected. Alright, let's go wait by the roadside and brighten your faces. A few dozen villagers line the roadside, turning their faces to the distance from when the saintess is approaching. The cleric averts his eyes subconsciously, nervously rubbing his palms with his fingers. He was assigned to this village by the Van Beat court 20 years ago, and has never seen the saintess outside of portraits. The footsteps approach. He focuses his entire attention on his facial muscles, hoping to leave a good impression on the saintess. Then, oh, Molly, you fool, look what you've done. What the? Blast this. I forgot about you two. Are you alright, saintess? Molly, come and apologize to the saintess. I'm sorry, saintess. It's alright. Just a ball. It didn't hurt at all. I still have to continue the ritual. Can you go home? Are your parents here? Saintess. Mom and Dad died a long time ago. My home is the temple. I'll go home then, Father. Go. I'll have you copying scriptures if you cause any more trouble. Sob. I deeply apologize, Saintess. How many children like him are there in the village? I've taken in 9. Some are orphans, while others were entrusted to me by their parents who went to the cities to find work. But we haven't heard from them since the disaster. Saintess, do you know what's happening with this disaster? When can my wife come back? What did I tell you, Baer? Has Cheragander really abandoned us? Enough. She would never do that. In these days of hardship, we must remember, believe, and trust that she is kind and just. I will do my best, so that your prayers, and the prayers of Oak Cherag, will be heard by her once again. Please trust me, in Cheragandra's name. But Cheragandr, she will protect us, and protect the Saintess. After a moment of silence, the villagers bowed their heads, together behind the clerk in a gesture of reverence. The Saintess nods and departs again. The snowy peaks in the distance wait. Alright. Cool. I mean, we kinda basically just started, but I just like Cherag. I already think this is good, you know? We just started, I already like what's happening. It's cool. I like it here. But yeah, as I said, short stream today. Cherag's pretty great, yeah, I agree. Short stream today, so we'll be ending here already. We'll be continuing tomorrow. We're probably not finishing, especially since it's a longer one and we did only 2 stages, well 3. So we're probably not finishing tomorrow yet, but we'll continue. And yeah.
With a foot in the darkness,
Oh.
the light becomes clearer. You want to
Reset.
see? No, you don't belong there.
Well. Yeah. You know, right? Yeah. Anyways, tomorrow, you know, we will do a normal length one. Probably, we'll see. Actually, it might be like a shorter one as well, actually, but only by just like a little bit or something. But we will see. That doesn't matter. But yeah, I already liked it, as I said, and I'm excited for
Fate.
what will happen.
I've pursued it,
For you know,
confronted it,
yeah,
and finally strangled it to death.
and yeah, we'll continue
You've done the
tomorrow
same.
at noon, Central European summertime, as always. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by, and bye.